Hello everybody, and welcome back here to franktortorici.com. Again, my website is www.franktortorici.com. That's Tortorici. You could be joining me through YouTube. The YouTube channel is Rebirth028. Again, that's Rebirth028. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe already. And Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, the works. So I want to welcome you here today and touch on today's January 27th, 2011, and just a few days ago we had heard of the passing of health enthusiast, fitness guru Jack LaLanne, who passed away at 96. And 2 days ago, the day after he passed away, an associate of mine was telling me he was listening to Rush Limbaugh on the radio. And I don't really get around to any of that stuff and listen to the mainstream media as much. I try not to anyway. And he was telling me that Rush Limbaugh was doing a whole segment on Jack LaLanne, pretty much bashing Jack LaLanne's lifestyle, making a joke that he had passed away, and just kind of downplaying what Jack LaLanne stood for as far as being a vegetarian. You know, as we all know, Jack LaLanne had the Juice Man juicer, and just kind of making fun of the lifestyle. So I went to Rush Limbaugh's website, and on my phone here, I have found on the website is here we go, right here. So this is the transcripts from the actual conversation. Now, again, you guys feel free to go to his website. It was posted the day of on January 24th, and it was about Jack LaLanne. And basically, his title was "Fruits and Vegetables Are Useless." Now, he's pulling this crazy information from a study that was done in the UK. Now, again, as we all have heard a few weeks ago, there was something that came out of the UK slamming Dr. Andrew Wakefield's link with autism and vaccines. So you have to kind of ask the question, what is the interest of these UK doctors as to why they are knocking, in a sense, anything that would come up as holistic? I mean, we all know the chemicals that are added to vaccines, and we've heard countless stories of people that have endured autistic symptoms afterwards, or just plain got sick. One girl was paralyzed. So you can't deny the facts that are out there and the testimonies. Now, for Mr. Limbaugh to make a statement here, I mean, the transcripts are really long, so you have to bear with me. I'm just kind of scooping through everything. But in one statement he made is that fruits and vegetables do have sources of vitamin A and vitamin C, but as far as that, that's basically it. And the minerals and nutrients that you get from animal products cannot be found in fruits and vegetables, is what he said. So he's basically encouraged America to go on a meat and potato diet, and you know, as we all know, that's complete BS. That's no way to achieve any health whatsoever. And for your information, Mr. Limbaugh, there is more than vitamin A and C in fruits and vegetables. You have phytonutrients, phytochemicals, you have chlorophyll, you have iron, you have amino acids in dark green leafy vegetables. So there's a whole spectrum of other things that are in fruits and vegetables. If you want a little breakdown on it, you know, you can always email me on my website or Facebook or tweet me and find me. And I'll be happy to school you and educate you a little more on the importance of fruits and vegetables. Now, you know, I was a raw vegan for about 6.5 years, so I do agree with Mr. Limbaugh's statement in saying that there are certain minerals and vitamins that are found in animal products that are not in plant. Now, I agree with that in the sense that my particular body feels a lot stronger when I do consume certain animal products. Now, we have to be careful. Whenever we're using the terms of fruits, vegetables, meat, fish, dairy, in today's day and age, we have to clarify whether things are organic, pesticide-free, not genetically modified, not farm-raised fish, not eating animals that are injected with HGH, human growth hormone, antibiotics, and other types of steroids. So these are all types of things we have to bring into the discussion. Now, when you have a guy like Rush Limbaugh, who has God knows how many millions of listeners, you have to clarify these other points of view. Okay? Then he goes on again various times, if you guys do pull up the transcript, to knock Jack LaLanne, making a joke of it, saying, oh, well, he died anyway at 96. Now, anyone, I mean, I'll speak for myself, embarking on this holistic journey for the last 11 and a half years of my life, I'm well aware that I'm not going to live to 500 years old. But I do plan on living a better quality of life. Okay, and that's one of the biggest problems that we have in American society, especially with the medical industry. We don't necessarily look at the quality, but we determine a success rate in hospitals for quantity and not quality. Okay, you could go walk through the hospital, see people on cancer wards or dealing with HIV or other types of things that are having limbs cut, organs cut, this and that, and they survive for another year or 2 years, but their whole life exists of laying in a hospital bed, sipping on morphine and methadone and all other types of things just to kill their pain. So, you know, we do have a twisted concept of what, I guess, medicine is in this country and healing. And for me, you know, Mr. Limbaugh, for you to say that fruits and vegetables have no value, I don't know where you're speaking that from. If you're only speaking it from the point of this UK study, then, you know, I would advise you to please research things more before you blast this on the airwaves. I mean, as I said a few weeks ago, Dr. Wakefield, who's the doctor with the autism vaccine link, I saw him with an interview with Anderson Cooper. And needless to say, it was not an interview. It was a complete just badgering the man. And ironically, yesterday, if you go to the Progressive Radio Network and listen to Dr. Gary Knowles' radio show, he had Brian Deere, who was the journalist that exposed Dr. Wakefield. And it's amazing how you listen to Gary Knowles, who knows what's up. He has a great documentary, by the way, called Vaccine Nation, and totally gives Brian Deere a platform to speak, but when Dr. Wakefield was on Anderson Cooper, he had no platform to speak. So it's interesting, and I think that's a good thing of human psychology, in a sense of when we feel like we have something to defend and we have to prove ourselves, then we're going to fight and be loud and be ignorant and just not even come off as a grounded being. But people who know the truth don't find any reason to have to fight for it, to prove it to you, in a sense. It just is. Okay? And back to the Rush Limbaugh thing, you know, I spoke a few months ago back at the Tourette Syndrome Association conference, and they had to have one of their doctors, a PhD, sit on it to monitor what I was saying, in a sense. If anyone had more medical questions, he could then answer it. And it was funny, at the end of my lecture, the doctor came up to me and just said, Frank, you know, no one can dispute this information. You know, it's much better to recommend eating an apple next to a processed cookie. You know, and I want to bring that to what Mr. Limbaugh, a caller called in on him and was challenging him, and, you know, brought up the food, well, the so-called food of Cheese Whiz. And he basically said, oh, Cheese Whiz is unhealthy, it's cheese. You read the ingredients and you tell me if that's really cheese. So it falls into that category of, again, we can't call things just what they are. When we look at the food groups, we can't call it bread, milk, cheese, fish, fruits, and vegetables. Today, that whole spectrum has completely changed. Okay? And then Mr. Limbaugh goes on into criticizing Michelle Obama for planting a garden. And, you know, let's face it, everybody. I'm going to be real with you and be really straight up. And some of you may not like this, and that's cool. You can't please everybody. But I'm a believer in whether Michelle Obama was in the White House this term or John McCain's wife, and he was elected, it really wouldn't matter. Okay, Republicans and Democrats do not differ in any way, shape, or form. Yes, they have different beliefs on certain issues, and that's what makes them stand out when they have these fixed debates for us to watch, or these State of the Union addresses that are all, you know, orchestrated. But at the end of the day, Democrats and Republicans have one major interest, and I think you guys know the answer to that already. And that's money, actually three things: money, power, and respect. Okay? It's all about profit. It's all about big capitalism, corporations, pharmaceutical companies. I mean, after all, it is all these corporations and pharmaceutical companies that are actually funding the campaigns to all these presidential nominees. I mean, if you do the research, it's all there. So, you know, is Michelle Obama a bad person? No. No, she's doing what anyone would do in that situation. Now, Rush Limbaugh goes on to criticize her and saying, when did she become a nutritionist overnight, telling people what they can and cannot eat? Well, Mr. Rush Limbaugh, this was going on even when your buddy George Bush was in office. George Bush was all behind genetically modifying seeds with Monsanto. Now it's just Barack Obama carrying out that same blueprint. Again, that blueprint is laid no matter who's president. As we all know, the president is just the spokesman, the puppet, the person who reads what he's told to read, and we believe it's his point of view. But it's not anything deeper than that. So we just have to accept that. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it is what it is. 2 plus 2 is 4, and that's what it is. So, you know, Michelle Obama, back to her, she's recommending that kids eat more fruits and vegetables, and again, Rush Limbaugh, you cannot dispute that. You cannot say that that's misleading or people are getting duped. Okay, you can't say that that's wrong, and then when your kid turns on the television, they see Ronald McDonald dancing around, and they correlate that with being healthy. Okay, but you know, whether Michelle Obama's doing it, or the Safety Food Act that was just passed, or them spraying methyl iodine on the strawberries, or them trying to genetically modify all the alfalfa fields through Monsanto, we're being told to eat whether we like it or not. And Mr. Limbaugh, again, if you're a meat and potatoes guy and that's what you do, then you need to start looking into grass-fed beef, free-range, pasture-fed chicken, no hormones, because you're being told what you eat too. You're not being given a choice to eat something pure or not pure. And I think if you actually studied and educated yourself on this matter, you would feel like you've been duped too by our own system. Okay, and you keep going on this thing of slamming Obama and Michelle Obama. Yeah, they're part of the machine. So what? That's nothing new. We knew that when he was, you know, elected to run for president and then became president. That was all. He knew he was going to become president 8 years ago, probably. So it's all good. It's all in the blueprint. But you keep going on as like this freedom fighter, and you're as right-wing as they come, from what I know. I mean, I don't follow you much, but the research I've done on you in order to do this blog, you're as right as they come. So whether you're right or left, it makes no difference. Okay, when you start standing in the middle, then you start finding some truth about things and the way things work, all in all. So that's pretty much it. I really want to encourage you guys to go and check out and read this transcript from Rush Limbaugh's website. And, you know, just to all you people out there, don't believe what you're hearing on the media. There's a lot of things going on. Birds are falling out of the sky. Flocks of fish are dying in hundreds. And there's actually just an interesting article on naturalnews.com where the USDA admitted to poisoning and killing those couple of 100,000 birds because they were protecting the farmers from getting fecal matter all over their soil. Come on. I mean, just read the article, and you guys do the research too, and tell me if you think that sounds legitimate, or when have we ever been endangered by bird feces? Now all of a sudden we're endangered by that, and we have to start playing God and killing hundreds of thousands of birds. So there's a lot of shifts going on. This Food Act, if you're not having access to local farms and farmers, small mom and pop farmers and farmers markets are growing your own food, yes, you are subject to this too. You will be eating all types of genetically modified foods, whether you know it or not. We're doing it already. Corn, soy, and wheat are the 3 highest genetically modified crops in America. Now they're trying to do alfalfa, and it's just going to keep spiraling. So you know, I say this to say is, you know, what you're hearing on the news when it comes to health tips and food and all that, please be aware and don't listen to everything. Don't just read the headline and consider it the truth and apply it to your life and to your family's life. Parents, please do the research on the vaccines and you make that choice for your child and for yourself. And as far as the fruits and vegetables do, man, over the last 10, 11 years, I've met people who had cured themselves of terminally ill diseases, did not do anything conventional, and just started cleansing their body through herbs and foods, and they're alive and well. And I myself, I'm 11 years into this. I was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome when I was 8 years old. I'm 32 now, and, you know, you can't dispute, Mr. Limbaugh, what my testimony is. I have, you know, diminished about 95% of my symptoms with no drugs, no nothing at all, just everything that's been put here from God's intention of what he calls food. And Jack LaLanne had the best quote of them all. If God made it, eat it. If man made it, do not touch it. And that's going to conclude this, okay? So again, I want to welcome you guys, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's Rebirth028. Pass these videos along to your loved ones and friends. This information can and will save lives. Okay, my website is www.franktortorici.com. That's Tortorici. Facebook, Twitter, the YouTube channel again, and my website. So pass these videos along. Health starts on your plate. And just think for yourselves, everybody. This is a crucial time we are now entering into our society, and we really need to start reading between the lines. But in order to read between the lines, we need to have a clean and clear vessel, and the way to do that is through food, fitness, and having a strong faith muscle to flex. And that's what it comes down to. So I'm out, and this is all about just liberating ourselves and knowing the absolute truth. Peace and love.